It's only a beginning to be added to by experience and reviewed throughout a pilot's flying career. The better a pilot understands the basic aerodynamics of flying, the safer he will be able to fly. And knowing how airplanes fly is essential to the skill and enjoyment of flying.
My first lesson was April 22nd, 2021. A year ago, I had my first flight lesson. I could barely taxi. It was all so overwhelming.
This is really helpful to just not be trying to do a bunch of jazz and just hold a heading.
Yep.
And just try to get used to that.
Yeah, and it's just tough right now, man. This is bumpy. This is not easy. So, it gets easier and easier as you experience it, get more proficient.
All the new sensations, sounds, and things I didn't understand yet, I felt like a child.
Full power back to about 2200, and then let's start that turn to the left.
180 to the left. Here we go.
All right.
20 degrees.
I think when you're in your 40s, your late 40s, it's hard to find significance in a year. Things tend to bleed more together. Time is just something you value more, but always seem increasingly short on. When you're actually a child, though, the years take forever. Just getting out of high school felt like I should write the governor for a pardon. Taking on such a challenge, learning how to fly, in midlife, is an exponential challenge. All my life, I've been working in music, film, technology for so long and built a level of expertise such that I forgot how to be terrible at something.
I think we had a little bit of a confusion. I was saying bring some power out and you kind of bump some in. But that was a tricky approach.
On the right downwind for 20, change
Yes,
traffic.
I did misunderstand.
Traffic citation is a right base.
I forgot what it felt like to feel defeated, incapable, slow. Everything felt foreign, uncomfortable. You build your life around progressive achievements to have some kind of certainty. Suddenly, I was in a new world. I wanted the challenge. I wanted my synapses and habits to be reshaped. Old cylinders firing again. I wanted the charge of meeting the difficulty with minor successes and piecing it all together into something I could stand on eventually. Another challenge in midlife is making new friends. You find yourself at this age having so many long-standing friendships premised mostly on the past, but not exactly reflective of who you are now. When I did all my flight training, I was alone in the quest. I had no peer group. I had no other pilots showing me the ropes or taking me up for flights. I was on my own, other than my instructor. I didn't even have my dad to call upon for help or guidance. Of course, he would have just left me to figure it out for myself. I've made it my purpose in flying to meet new people and have new experiences and see new places. And this is not about exotic places. It can be even the most mundane scenery. It's just about new patterns and new places. When you learn how to fly and you start looking around at maps, you realize there's this network of all these airports across the country. It's astounding once your eyes are open to it. It's an entirely new constellation or universe that opens up even in the areas you think that you know well. And all of those places are also people. And in general aviation, people really are the best part of it. I've met and become friends with other pilots that I would never have interacted with outside of my normal circles. People that come from totally different walks of life, different cultures, ideas, ways of living. But we all have something common and larger in mind: the love of flying and the desire to share those experiences. And we like to be eyes and ears for each other as we all learn and continue in our own individual ways. There are absolute truths in aviation, aerodynamics, physics, and many other factual certainties to understand. But sitting above all that like a cloud layer are the scattered and many interpretations that are unique from each pilot point of view, and each are valid in their own right. Each is worthy of adding to the collective understanding of flight. It goes far beyond tips and tricks and equipment recommendations. Everyone has their own way and their own process, their own interpretation of what they're doing. And there's something to learn from in all of those interpretations and all of those points of view, and it'll take a lifetime to sort through all of that. That said, I don't have a lifetime to fly. I have only the time I have now. Anything could come up at any time that takes it all away, especially later in life. A medical issue or a life change that could swallow it all up in a moment. I keep this in mind all the time. So, 1 year later, one trip around the sun. I started my training from scratch. I got my private pilot certificate in 5 months at 65 hours of experience, and then since have flown 85 more hours as a private pilot. Now that I'm at 150 hours, which I've heard other pilots call the top of Mount Stupid because that's when you start to really think you know things, I'm at the most perilous point of the entire process. I'm determined to stay focused as if I still am the toddler on the taxiway, struggling just to go in a straight line. I know I can count on all the friends I've made this year to keep me honest and focused, and I'm continuing my learning. And while instruction and additional ratings and all of that are vital, really, more than anything, there's just something immeasurable about the learnings and the inspiration that I get from those further down the runway than I am.